Hello everyone, and welcome to this very new episode of our Ellie Talks podcast, your podcast for insights in the sustainable fashion and textiles industry. My name is Julie Litaire. I'm a founder of Ariadne Innovation, and Ariadne Innovation is a startup who wishes to inspire, inform, and connect within the sustainable textiles and fashion industry. Very happy to welcome you today. So today, the topic will be about sustainable dyes. And for that, I would like to very much welcome our guest, Eva Engelen, who is Sustainability and Product Manager at the startup HNST Jeans, who delivers the most sustainable Belgian jeans. Hello, Eva. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Maybe for those who don't know you yet, can you please give us some more information about yourself and introduce you to our audience today?
Yes, of course. Good morning, Julie. Thank you for having me. So I'm Eva, and I am a sustainable fashion enthusiast and professional. And on a personal note, I really love adventure and inspiring conversations. So I think I'm at the right address today.
Yes, we will definitely take our audience towards a nice adventure. So I'm sure you're passionate as I am about circularity, sustainability, and innovation, and the role that those can play towards a better future. Can you maybe explain as well where your journey for sustainability started? Did it start at HNST, or what is your background?
Yeah, it started way before I joined HNST. Actually, it started when I was still in university, where I studied business engineering, and through courses throughout my studies, such as ethics and sustainable development, I learned about climate change and social injustice, loss of biodiversity, all very heavy topics. But luckily, simultaneously, I was also introduced to alternative economic models or business models that could kind of avoid or phase out those negative impacts. So this is really when I started to become very passionate about sustainability.
Okay, great to hear. So we really have an expert in the audience, which is amazing. So we will not focus on all those different topics, but for today we will focus on a topic which is very important for the textile industry as well, which is the dyeing process. So how can we make that more sustainable, and what opportunities and innovations are there in the industry? So you work today for HNST Jeans. Can you maybe tell us something more about the company itself?
Yeah, of course, with pleasure. So HNST is a circular fashion brand that has nothing to hide, and we produce jeans. Yeah, like all jeans should be made actually, without compromising on style, sustainability, and quality. And we do this in practice by applying the principles of the circular economy to fashion, to jeans, and creating, let's say, a closed loop supply chain, and using pre-loved jeans, all jeans that have been worn, as our raw material.
Okay, that's already a very important challenge, I can imagine. Maybe just to go back to your role at HNST as a product and sustainability marketing, can you maybe tell us what your day looks like, or what your responsibilities are in that function?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. So as a product and sustainability manager, I'm really the one that's responsible to create, make, and source our circular products. So I'm involved from the design phase all the way until our products are finished and delivered back in Belgium. And then I'm also, next to that, I'm managing really, let's say, the environmental impact of our products. So I'm making sure that our clothing is produced with the lowest environmental impact that is possible with current technologies out there. And also, of course, very important, under safe and fair working conditions. And then finally, a big part of my role is also about innovation and R&D. So developing new products, but also really making sure that the ones that we already have, that we keep improving them, so that we are never standing still, let's say, but we're on a continuous route to always becoming a better version of ourselves.
That's nice. So you're really a key player, I think, in the organization to make this happen, this change happen. So we did some research about Honest and the jeans and the claims that you make. So I'm gonna quote it for the audience. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But an Honest jeans is made out of 56% of recycled jeans. It does not contain harmful chemicals and is also water saving. It's called, by some press, and of course confirmed by you, to be the cleanest jeans on earth, which is great that it's from Belgium. Yeah, can you maybe explain as well on where did the idea come from? This need for a circular and sustainable jeans. What was the start of the story?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so jeans, this is really where we started as a brand. And the reason why we started with jeans is that jeans is the most polluting garment that everyone has in their wardrobe. So both from a social and environmental perspective, it's really the worst performer of the class, let's say the bad student. And this is, the reasons for this is it's multifaceted. But first, one of the big problems is that around 15% of the worldwide consumption of pesticides and insecticides is used for the cultivation of cotton. And cotton is really the main ingredient of jeans. So we have a chemical issue. There's a lot of pesticides involved. Also throughout the value chain, a lot of other chemicals to dye, which we'll get into later. But then also there's a lot of water required. So to produce a single pair of traditional jeans, so with the traditional methods, you can need up to 7,000 liters of water just to make one pair of jeans. And this is the equivalent of 9 years of drinking water for one single person. So when you put that in perspective, it's quite absurd, actually. And then to make it all worse, so as I mentioned, you need a lot of resources to create a single pair of jeans, lots of chemicals, lots of water. But then, unfortunately, the majority of the jeans that you can find in stores today, they are designed for linear life cycles. So that will mean that they eventually, when they are no longer worn, they will either end up as waste, being landfilled or burned. And just to add a fact to that as well, to kind of show how big this issue is. The fact is really that less than 1% of clothing that exists today will be recycled into new clothing. So there's really a lot of loss of value, but also a huge negative impact that is created there.
Yeah, so you really are tackling, the most difficult product, I think, to make it more sustainable, which is a really beautiful challenge for a startup. Of course, when you talk about circular economy, circularity, that also means engaging with the whole circular supply chain to gain some control or partner with those parties. How difficult was that for a startup company? How did you start with that, and how do you ensure the continuity and control in the supply chain? What is your biggest challenge on that part?
Yeah, so the first 2 years, I would say, of Honest, they were purely R&D focused. So they were really focused on creating the circular value chain that we have today. And of course, to create this value chain, it was essential to find the right partners, partners that are equally motivated and passionate about sustainability and circularity than we are. And in the beginning, this was really our biggest challenge. It was a major challenge because we had to find partners that wanted to work with us, and simultaneously we were coming to them with a huge list of demands and only very limited volumes, very small volumes. So it was difficult, it was challenging, but we persisted, and we were very happy to find perfect partners that share the vision and the passion with us. For example, we're working with a lovely spinner in Belgium, European Spinning Group. And then also
heard about them, yes.
You might have heard about them, yeah. And they're one of our core partners. And then also with Pure Denim, beautiful, innovative denim mill also in Italy. And these partners were very essential to creating this closed loop that we have today.
Okay, that's great to hear. In any case, we, as Ariadne Innovation, we did not exist yet at the launch of Honest, but definitely for partners in the audience who would like to find partners for a circular supply chain as well, they can definitely register to Ellie.Connect and have a look if they can find, like-minded people to start or continue their project with. So very thank you for elaborating on that, Eva. Now I want to zoom in to the topic of today, which is about sustainable dyes. We have read that you have found, together with your partner, some different innovative dyeing techniques. For example, for blue jeans, if I'm correct, the denim is dyed by using electricity as well. It's called smart indigo. Yeah, I'm really interested as well in the technical aspects. Can you maybe explain a little bit to the audience how that works?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so traditionally to dye denim yarns, you need indigo at a deep dark blue color. And the dye stuff indigo is naturally hydrophobic. So it means that it's very difficult to bind to yarns. And that's why for traditional jeans, you need a lot of water and chemicals to make the indigo dye stuff stick to the yarn. And of course, there's like a huge negative environmental impact, but also health hazards associated with these traditional processes. So when we wanted to dye our yarns a deep dark blue, we of course didn't want to use these harmful processes. But we were lucky because together with our Italian denim mill, we were able to use an alternative process that applies dye stuff, indigo dye stuff with electricity. And how it works is instead of reducing the indigo dye with chemicals, there is an electrochemical reaction that allows for the dye stuff to bind to the yarn. So we're creating the same technical effect, let's say, but then minus the negative environmental impact and also minus the health hazards.
Okay, seems interesting. And then recently you also launched a new concept called Reblack, also denim dyed black with a new innovative technology. Can you maybe explain a little bit about that part, or is it still confidential?
No, we'd love to. Yeah, so after we introduced that, the fabric that we currently have, 56% recycled cotton in a blue version, we of course wanted to bring also other colors to the market, but we wanted to do it in the same, sustainable, innovative way, not using any unnecessary chemicals, really limiting the environmental impact. So when we started talking about black with our Italian partner, luckily they were already one step ahead of us. And they'd been working on a pilot of a revolutionary dyeing technique for black dye stuff. So for the Reblack denim that we have just introduced a couple of weeks ago, we are working with a technology that so first the yarns are dyed black, and then after the production, the wastewater will be filtered as we always do. Of course, it's an essential step in our production process. But then here, they will filter out the residue from the black dye stuff. And this black dye stuff will then be sent to the pigment manufacturer where it will be regenerated. So it can be reused again as new pigment, new dye stuff to create new, to color new yarns. So kind of really closing the loop also not only with the recycled cotton and everything, but now also with the dye stuff.
So circular dye stuff seems really interesting. And I hope it also resonates in the rest of the textile industry where there's a very similar challenges. So did you encounter any challenges when testing these kind of innovative dyeing techniques?
Yeah, in general, when we find innovative techniques or innovative solutions for problems like, for example, the black dye stuff, but also lots of other things, one of the biggest challenges is really scaling it from lab to industrial scale. There's plenty of amazing innovations out there that can really, that have great potential, but really scaling them from lab to industrial scale would hold quite some challenges, technical challenges, but also often economical challenges. So often you have amazing technologies in the lab, but then to scale them to an industrial scale, it would mean that we have to triple the prices of our jeans. So of course, it's always a balance that we're looking for to balance out all these different elements.
Okay, and maybe to go back to the partnership model with your suppliers, I really feel that's an important part of your innovation growth story for Honest. How do you do that, setting up these type of partnerships? Is it kind of just a natural thing, or by working together, or do you have any specific tips and tricks that you can use to set up these type of partnerships?
Yeah, I think for the partnerships that we have in place, I think what's really essential is that they're all long-term collaborations. So we've been working with these partners for multiple years. We are able to regularly meet up with them, either online or in like face-to-face. And I think also really open conversation is at the basis of these partnerships. So open conversation, brainstorms, keeping a finger on the pulse on what all of the partners are working on, like the innovations they're working with, also on our end, and kind of combining all those elements and in an open conversation and yeah, an equal relationship, I would say.
So I can conclude that maybe it takes a little bit of time and patience to set up this kind of trust relationship. So for startups who are maybe not used to working open with partners and still looking for them, I take this advice up that good communication is very important as well, so that they don't get discouraged, by not having the best results at first. Let's talk a little bit as well about creating consumer awareness, because you're talking about beautiful innovative techniques by using recycled fibers as well as sustainable innovative dyeing techniques. But how easy is it to explain that to a respectfully intended dumb consumer who does not know the textile industry? How do you approach this, and how can you convince them to make the sustainable choice in the case of a denim jeans?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's important, of course, that you also find people who you can make the most sustainable product. But for us, it's really essential that it's still at the end, looks good and feels good as well. So I would say today that we are reaching two types of consumers. The first one is really, the eco warrior. As the name says, it's really people who are super committed to sustainability and really want to be as sustainable as possible in every choice that they're making in their consumption behavior. So these people, they really know what they're talking about. So they often find us either through research, mouth to mouth, or through platforms, or through our own communication. And they are the ones that really deep dive into our website, into our product pages. They know our partners. They also know a lot technically about clothing. So they will ask very critical questions. They are really challenging us, let's say. So these are the ones that when we introduce a new fabric or a new innovation in our supply chain, they are the ones that really, they get really hyped up about it, I must say. And then on the other hand, you have people that we reach or that wear our jeans because they just really like the fit and they like how they look, they like how they make them feel. And these consumers were very enthusiastic when we, for example, launched our Reblack jeans because the color just looks really nice and the fabric feels really soft. So we're kind of reaching those, two types of people.
Okay, nice, thank you. So having, as well a beautiful product that is, fair priced and is sustainable is an important match. I think we have similar values. You're very transparent about what you're doing. You're working on this collaborative approach, which is really nice to see. This is also what Ariadne Innovation strives for, and we try to create, some kind of dynamic in the textile and fashion industry to cooperate more, to have a more open view on innovation, what is happening in the industry. So how do you feel about that? Do you also feel this kind of trend or challenge? Do you feel more openness in your industry, or do you really feel that you're still an exception in this way of working?
Yeah, I think it's a bit double. I definitely agree with you. There is a tendency or a trend towards more openness. I think a lot of brands and suppliers are realizing it, the challenge that lies in front of us, kind of really making the industry more sustainable and more, ecological and societal. This is something that we cannot do alone. So we really need collaboration to reach this goal. I think more and more players are realizing this. So more and more people are also eager to collaborate. But there is still also, there's definitely also brands or our partners or let's say suppliers who are still quite closed, that they want to protect also their successes or secrets, which is also understandable. So I would say that we are definitely as an industry becoming more open overall, which is a great step, I would say.
Okay, and maybe also talk a little bit about transparency impact. I know there's a lot of hustle about that, greenwashing today. So transparency is very important for our industry, I believe. So how does Honest ensure this transparency, and what is your biggest, challenge on this transparency field?
Yeah, I think the name, what's in the name already says it all. I mean, the brand is called Honest. So it's really important for us to stay and be honest. And our motto is really that we have nothing to hide. So when you come to our website, for example, you can find every partner we work with, every material that we put in our jeans. So we're really kind of being as open as we can be. And we are able to do this because we have a direct link with each of our suppliers. So traditional brands, they would work directly maybe with their fabric supplier, if already, and not all of them even do that. But we are working directly with our mill, with our spinner, as I mentioned already, but also with other partners deeper in the value chain. And this ensures that we know where all our materials are coming from, where everything is being made. And this allows us to be really transparent and open about it on our own website, but also on other communications. But I think it's also really important to add that, I mean, we are not perfect. We've been working in this circular way from the beginning, which is a huge advantage. But still, there is definitely a lot of challenges for us as a brand to create circular products. And to go one step further than the transparency that we were already offering on our own website, we now introduced our Hall of Fame. And this is a page you can find on our website. And it's really a place where we are super open and transparent about challenges and learnings that we still have. So as I said, we are not perfect. We still also have some things in our products that we like to change and we're really working on that are still, let's say, giving me a headache, but we'll want to solve them in the near future. And we introduced this Hall of Fame to take really that transparency to another level.
Really nice to hear that you're doing this Hall of Fail idea as well. Maybe it's an idea to put them on Ellie.Connect as well as challenges. So maybe you can find some unexpected partners that could help you with the challenges as well. But it's nice to be transparent about the more negative side of doing business as well. So very nice to hear your story, to grow from a pioneer, innovative, sustainable denim producer, circular brands, towards a really scale up company. So while you are growing, I wanted to ask as well about your future plans for Honest, if you can share anything. I heard that you were going to go more international, so maybe you can share a little bit about that as well with our audience.
Definitely. It's all top secret, but I will share some sneak peeks. So we're definitely working a lot on being more present in stores. So I've started working with retailers in Belgium, France, Japan, but we'll really continue working on that, so people can really find and try on our jeans in stores all around Europe and in the near future also all over the world. So that's really exciting. And then more on the technical R&D product perspective, because of course that's right up my alley. We're really working on increasing the percentage of recycled cotton, recycled jeans beyond 56%. So always going a little bit higher and higher. Because with doing this, we can really drastically limit our environmental impact. And then we're also working on introducing a sustainable stretch next to our rigid jeans, working on introducing new or different types of products. So really applying, let's say, that circular ethos philosophy on we just introduced t-shirts. So we took the same methodology that we used for jeans, applied it on t-shirts, and we'll continue doing this with other types of products. And then also, we just introduced our reblack and undye jeans. And we want to also look into other colors because colors are always vibrant. So that's also on the agenda.
Okay, nice to hear. Looking forward to that. And of course, we will share all the new innovations we'll be bringing to the market as well. Yes, maybe, I don't know if there's maybe a challenge that our Ellie.Connect community can help you with. Is there a question or maybe something you would like to share with the audience today, or any challenge you are incurring today? Then maybe now's the time to do that.
Yeah, I really like this question. I actually used the Ellie.Connect platform very recently, I would say maybe 2 weeks ago, for a challenge about dismantling jeans. And I was already put in contact with multiple potential partners, so that was very successful. And I would definitely love to look into your suggestion as well, Julie, to post some of the challenges from the Hall of Fame that we still have on the platform. So I will look into that in the next weeks.
Great. We're looking forward to that and hope we can help you with that. Yeah, maybe just because we're reaching the end of this podcast episodes, maybe we can dream a little bit together. When we talk about sustainable generations, how would you love to have the world look like in, let's say, 20 years? What do you aspire to see changed in the world on a personal level as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's always important to dream because it gives us goals, right?
Yeah.
So I really hope in 20 years from now that we are all living a more respectful life, I would say, towards other human beings, but also towards nature. That people feel more connected to nature, so they also feel maybe more motivated and inspired to protect it as well.
That's a very beautiful dream, and I would suggest to the Ellie.Connect community to help realize that dream as well. I know I will personally as well. Thank you very much, Eva Engelen, Product Manager, Sustainability Manager for HNST Jeans, to share your very inspiring story today. I hope it has inspired the audience as well to just start or maybe grow into the sustainable textiles industry. Of course, we are there for them on www.Ellie.Connect.com as well if you would like launch questions. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, everyone, for zooming in today, for listening. We hope we can continue inspiring, and let's do great things together. Thank you.